Uh, Listen up, guys. We have a problem. This is actually kind of serious, so stop. Everybody just focus. As you guys know, I have been on a quest recently to try to force myself to dream again. And by doing that, I feel like I may have overdone something one night, because things have been a little crazy. And I will say this. I did do a little funny thing the other day for like my Instagram, where I was like pretending to, I have my life-size Annabelle doll from the movie, you guys have seen that. I had her sitting on the bed with me in a photo, and we had a Ouija board in between us, and I was pretending that I was playing the Ouija board with the Annabelle doll. And I captioned it something like, board games with my bestie. In reality, I didn't actually play the Ouija board that night, but I did, you know, it took me like 30 minutes or so to set everything up and like just trying to get the perfect picture. I gotta admit, I did get a little freaked out, and I'm a very skeptical person on the Ouija board, or I feel like I believe when it's nighttime and I'm scared and alone, but when it's like I'm making a video talking about the Ouija board, I'm always like, I don't believe it. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus. But I guess I am pretty skeptical. I don't know whether I believe it or not, but it's kind of scary sometimes. And I did get a little freaked out. After I got my picture, and I was like done with the camera and everything like that, I sat there for a second and just looked at what I was looking at, and there's a Ouija board, an actual like authentic 1972 edition of the William Full talking board set, with the actual life-sized Conjuring Annabelle doll sitting across from me looking directly into my eyes. It did freak me out a little bit. I felt like, you know, like this could be actually a pretty bad idea. So just keep that in mind. I did that. I've been trying all these different remedies to try to make myself have these dreams. I want a lucid dream, so I've been trying to do different things like eating weird cheese that's moldy and stuff like that. Trying to force myself, or induce, I guess you could say, a dream. And last week I was really exhausted. I didn't get much sleep at all through the whole week, and I was working a lot, and I had a lot to do with the run up to Christmas and everything like that. So I have been, I guess you could say, pretty restless for the whole week, that I just couldn't wait, because I work as well. I couldn't wait for Sunday, like Saturday night, so that I could sleep in on Sunday morning. I didn't have to do anything on Sunday morning. And I went to bed Saturday night after watching Annabelle Creation for like the 4th time in the week. I literally went to bed at like 5 a.m. I think. I was up all night just like watching horror movies, mainly Annabelle Creation, and then I did like a lot of research on like Malthus the demon that's in Annabelle Creation. And I don't know whether that and like trying all these remedies too and being exhausted at the same time, but I went to bed that night. And I woke up like an hour later, and it was like 6 a.m. at that point. I'd just fallen asleep, and I think I was in a state of like being so overtired, and then just getting that little bit of rest, and then waking up again. I woke up because I felt like something was off, and it was. My fan was off. I usually sleep with a fan. I can't sleep without a fan on. I need the background noise, and I also sleep with my laptop on, playing a playlist of YouTube videos. I woke up to my fan being off. I woke up to my laptop was off completely. I looked around, completely dazed in my room. It was pitch black. I'm never usually in the total darkness because my laptop is usually on. All the little red lights on like the TV and whatever else I've got charging in the room was all like gone. So there was no light at all, but I could still see. It was like very, very dim in the room. And I've told you guys this before, when especially like years ago when I was a teenager, I used to do it a lot more than I do now as an adult. And it was like this thing where like you're so tired that sometimes you wake up in the night and you think you can see people in your room. I would actually hallucinate an actual person. Like I could see facial I have memories of some of these faces to this day because they're so weird. And like I would see the facial details on them, and they would be standing in my room just watching me sleep, and I would jump up, panic, and then as soon as I like snap out of that state of like half awake, half asleep, the apparition would go away, and I would realize that it was just like the clothes hanging on the back of the door, or it was like my tripod with the camera on the top of it, or even my chair, my computer chair. Like I would see, but then it doesn't look anything like a person, and I'm sitting there looking at it later on thinking, how did I even make a person out of that? It looks nothing like a person. Apparently that's very common when your brain is like overtired and you're half awake, half asleep. Apparently your brain is like, you're awake and you're seeing your real surroundings, but your brain is also putting things there that isn't really there. And it's really scary when it actually happens. Well, I don't really do that much anymore. It's very few and far between, like when that happens. But it did it that same night. And I think it was like a weird feeling of everything was off, which was off anyway. Like it freaked me out. I didn't really know what was going on. I took a look. The first thing I did was look at the Annabelle doll, because as you guys know, the Annabelle doll is sitting on a chair at the foot of my bed in my bedroom. And so I instantly looked to her to make sure she was like still there. But then I looked over on my computer chair, like up against my computer, which had a pile of clothes on it in real life. But what I saw freaked me the hell out, guys. Like, I can't even express to you how fucking traumatizing it was. This was like real scary. Like, it freaked me out, and it was because it was so dark still, and I had no awareness of what was going on. Didn't even know what time it was. I'd only been asleep for like an hour and a half, I think, and I was looking at this chair, and I could see an actual man, like a big giant man, not like fat or anything, but I could see he was definitely a tall guy. He had a big build, but I could see muscles. Like, I remember seeing muscles on this arm, like as he was sitting like this, and had his leg like across the other leg, and it was facing my direction. So it was so scary because it looked like he was actually watching me sleep, just sitting in a chair. And I was like awake, I was aware of it going on, and I was just looking at this thing like this. You know when you kind of freeze and you're just like watching carefully to see if it moves at all so you can catch it? And I was shitting myself, literally. I was just looking at it like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought it was like an actual demon was sitting in the chair, because all I could see was like a large man, like the head, the silhouette, but he was sitting in the chair, and he had very large, he was very muscular, didn't seem to be have any clothes on or anything. It was just like all I could see was the shape of a man. And then the panic set in, and I jumped, looked up, grabbed my phone, like turned on the cell phone light, the flash on my phone, and it was nothing. It was just a pile of clothes, and the apparition just went away, and it freaked me out. Turns out like I had a blackout in the house. That's all it was. But I could have sworn like there was something evil in the room with me that night. Cut to the next night, which was Monday night. After editing my video, I went downstairs to where my cat was acting very strange, meowing, making weird noises, acting like something bothered him. Now, last time I seen him like this was when my neighbor's cat came into the house. My cat was acting very, like, he knew something was off. He knew there was, like, something in the house that wasn't supposed to be there. He was acting very strange, making this weird, like, kind of a growly meow, walking around, like, pacing around that room. And I didn't know what was going on with him. I was like, what are you doing? Like, he didn't want to go out. He wasn't, like, hungry or anything like that. Just acting very strange. Looking at things that weren't there. Like, he was sitting there and doing this, like hallucinating, and I was like, Mac, you're freaking me out, man. Like, cut that out. I was like, I can't remember what I was doing exactly. I was on my knees doing something. I was like cutting up paper or something. It's something not important, but I heard like a loud bang coming from outside. Not like outside the house, like outside, like in the kitchen or something. And it freaked me out, or even possibly up the stairs, like it was like in the landing area it came from, like somewhere just like in that direction to me. But my cat also heard it, and that was when I thought, like, the hairs on my neck stood up, and I was like, what the heck was that? Just kind of brushed it off. I took a look out there. Nothing had fallen. There was obviously nobody was there or anything like that. Came back in. Cat's still acting very strange. He's like sitting there looking at the direction toward like the stairs. Just sitting there looking, and his tail's going like this, and he was just acting really weird. Then I heard this weird whine sound, which I don't know if it was my cat, but I've never heard him make a sound like that before. But whatever it was, I don't think it was him, because he responded to it. Like, he was making a weird, like, meowing sound. But this was like a weird, like, whining sound. And that definitely came from what I could only imagine was, like, the kitchen area or possibly up the stairs. But whatever it was, I heard it, and the cat heard it, and it was like, it was freaking me out. I don't know. But then it kind of like, he calmed down after that and just went about his life, sleeping. That was just it. I tried to not think about it, but the hair on my neck was like, you know when you get like tingles and you're actually scared for a second? Like, I love horror movies and stuff like that. Like, sometimes I wish that I was in a horror movie, like in real life though. But that kind of freaked me out. And it was just, I thought it would be worth mentioning. I don't know whether it was something or it was just like, you know, I don't know. Let me know in the comment section, do you think this could have been like some kind of paranormal experience? Or do you think it was just something, it was just noise, house settling noises? Maybe it was nature. I don't know. Whatever is going on outside in the world. Probably nothing. But what turned off my power? I didn't actually have an explanation for that. It just went off. for no reason. So that was pretty creepy too. So yeah, a lot of weird things have been happening to me this week, and I will keep you guys posted. Still haven't had a dream though, but that's what I wanted to mention about the dreams is I don't know whether it was like because I've been trying all these things, you know, very highly caffeinated drinks and stuff like that, trying to induce a dream, and it could have been something that's like made me, especially seeing the demon sitting in my chair thing, like that could have just been like maybe too much caffeine, going to sleep exhausted, waking up an hour later while exhausted still, and just my brain just hallucinating what I had been watching all night that night, which was Annabelle Creation. I don't know, but let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think of that, and has anything like that ever happened to you? I'm curious to hear your guys' stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.